What's up, guys? Wesley here. Today I'm finally going to answer the age-old question you've all been waiting for so long. Which is better for food prep, glass or plastic? And this is, of course, in regards to microwaving leftovers from frozen. Kind of a little bit of backstory before we get into the actual science experiment here. The science or thought process goes that plastic is better because it doesn't have a high specific heat, meaning it doesn't take much energy to warm the plastic back up to food temperature. And also, plastic doesn't have a high thermal conductivity, so even if the plastic is cold, it doesn't transfer that coolness or remove heat from your food. So, the theory goes that microwaving in plastic is going to yield a better result than glass, which by comparison does have a high thermal conductivity and a high specific heat, meaning freezing cold glass keeps the food freezing cold. The counter argument to all of this is because of the way microwaves heat the food, they heat it from the outside first, and then the hot outside food is then in thermal contact with the rest of your food, and therefore that's how the middle of your food gets heated, is just from the outside food being hot. That said, anytime you microwave food, there's going to be a gradient of heat, and a lot of that has to do with the surface area of the food and then how far away the center of your food is from that surface, right? So you want to be spreading your food out as thin and evenly as possible so that the heat doesn't have a long way to travel to the inside. The further that distance is, the bigger the temperature difference is going to be. Obviously, if you're willing to stop halfway through and stir, you solve all these problems, but ain't nobody got time for that. So here we are today. We're going to test glass versus plastic. And the reason glass might come out ahead in this experiment is even though the very cold glass is going to keep the outside of your food cold longer, that might actually help the temperature become more even as the microwave only heats the outside. So this extra buffer of thermal capacity, although it might take longer to microwave, you may get a more even heat distribution. So I have here 275 grams of jambalaya in each plastic and glass. And even though the containers are different shapes, I've shaped the frozen block of food here in the plastic container to have roughly the same surface area. So hopefully that doesn't change our experiment too much, but we're going to start by throwing these in one at a time. We'll start with our control here, the plastic. We're going to let this guy cook for 3 minutes, which of course is done by pressing the add 30 seconds button approximately 6 times. In the meantime, I'm going to keep this frozen. That way our starting point is 0 degrees Fahrenheit for both of them. Alright, we just heard the loud pop of the lid bursting off the container. Some might say that's a mistake from not cracking the lid. It's actually a feature with these plastic meal prep containers to let you know your food's almost ready. Here we are, closing it in the last second. We're going to go ahead and try to measure this right away before the food has time for the heat to distribute. So coming in for the hottest spot, right on the edge here, I'm at 185, 157, 199, 200. Yeah, the bottom corners seem to be the hottest at 200. Now let's see if we can find the coldest spot. Should be right here in the center, 29 degrees. This is bad news. So this probably wouldn't be ready to eat yet. It is very hot. 200 degrees is too hot to eat. That's significantly warmer than you would like drink a hot coffee or eat a hot chocolate. Also, above 165, you're really starting to rubberize chicken and destroy proteins. And then, of course, 20 degrees is far too cold. That's actually still frozen. There's a little bit of frost sounds in the center of this guy. But just as it sits here, we've already came up from 29 to 38, 33, No, I guess we're still at 29. I just had to find a cold spot. So, didn't heat very evenly. Now, we could have stirred this. We also could have microwaved it at a slower setting, a lower speed, and all of this would have helped distribute the heat more evenly. But like we already discussed, that's clearly not an option. No one's going to do that. And this chicken is now a bit rubbery, and we're still not even ready to eat it. Let's do another 3 minutes with the glass meal prep container and see what we have for it. And we just want to know, are we within a tighter tolerance within that range? So let's find out. Glass container, in we go. Add 30 seconds button. Coming up on the finish line here. I see a touch of steam, but not nearly as much. Coming in for the hottest part, we can check. 185? That's pretty warm. We were at 200 on the last one. Here's a spot that's 199. So we definitely got just as hot with this. I'm actually struggling to hold it in my hand here. But let's go for the coldest spot. 45. Oops, I missed it. Whoo! It is so hot, I'm gonna have to set it down and tell you guys. You're just gonna have to believe me. Oh, we found a 29, 28. Yeah, very similar results, honestly. It seems that the thermal capacity of the food is a lot more impactful than the thermal capacity of the container. But yeah, we were 29 at the coldest, 199 at the hottest. That's exactly how things were for the plastic container. So I think I'm going to consider this settled. As far as reheating purposes, they're very, very similar. Y'all have a good day.